carts and carts and carts of samples of everything in the store, including the store picks for you to try. Oh no, that they are getting their truck at 2:30, and I got myself the Weller single barrel. I didn't realize you could get one of each. Now I am concerned because I do think they're gonna break. Welcome back to the Bourbon Retriever. My name is Chris, and today we are doing a bourbon hunt in New Hampshire and probably a lot of Massachusetts too. I won the Weller Single Barrel in the annual lottery that New Hampshire does. So we're flying here from DC up to New Hampshire. I'm going to track the cost in the corner here so you guys can see how much I'm spending on this trip and was it worth it compared to secondary. My guess is we're going to have to find some other unicorns on this trip to basically break even, but we'll see. I'm excited. I've never been up to Boston, Massachusetts area, so I'm excited for this trip. So we just landed in Boston here. I need to get myself a coffee because I haven't had it this morning. And you know, when you're in Boston, you gotta get yourself a Dunkin' Donuts. This is actually the first Dunkin' I've ever had. I don't think I've ever had Dunkin'. So I went with their signature. So let's give it a little taste test, see how that is. Very sweet. It's nothing that you expect from these kind of chain places, but it will definitely do the job today. I'm gonna need it because we have a very long day hunting here. So we have finally gotten our rental car here. It is a pretty nice Volvo. Got a little upgrade. Nice massive sunroof. So I'm excited to use that as we're driving around. Leather seats. It's a really good car. Mine is rather old, so it's gonna be nice to drive in this new one. A couple of inexpenses already. There are going to be tolls. I did not realize you had to pay tolls to get in and out of the airport. So those are already unexpected expenses that are going onto our bill. So we're really going to have our work cut out for us to try and break even on cost today. And if we just bought these bottles on secondary. If you're enjoying this content and you want to see more videos like it, hit the subscribe button. I have a couple other hunt videos in the pipeline. Ones I plan to go to and others that I just need to get around to editing. Editing these videos takes a lot of time. And so I'm glad when I see that you guys enjoy them, hit the like button. But if you're looking for a further way to help support the channel, check out my Patreon channel. For this video to even get close to like breaking even, I would need like 100,000 views in this video for like the YouTube ad revenue. That is the only way like people like Bruzel have the means to be able to do these type of extensive hunting videos. But check out the Patreon because that is the best way to support me in helping grow this channel. All right, so we have made it to New Hampshire here at the New Hampshire Liquor and Wine Outlet. This is where I'm gonna be picking up my lottery bottle, but let's go inside and see if we can find any other hidden gems. Oh, wow, this is a massive store. Like closer to like Total Wine type style here. I got a clearance. That, I don't know, you might have me right there in clearance. We'll give it a check. We'll see if there's anything cool at clearance here. Not seeing much. Let's see, we got some Rebels. Oh, these cocktails, 100% should be on clearance. Those things are rough, but not really. Oh, Garrison Brothers, yeah, another thing, easily on clearance. That is not the best whiskey. Surprised to see this here though. The Dark Pumpernickel. This is someone that people have been chasing for only $33 there. That is not a bad deal for that bottle because I know those are rather expensive. But I don't know if any of those are going to make the cut. I only have room for like maybe 3 bottles in my suitcase. It's a really small carry-on suitcase. So we're going to have to be a little judicious, but at the same time trying to find value. Okay, I think I found the main bourbon section here. Kind of like these 2 aisles. And then there's like a little bit of rye on the backside there, but we'll go and check that out. This one, Barrel Foundation 5, $50. If you guys don't own that, definitely get it because it is really good. And if this is the first iteration, yeah, this is the first iteration. So it has much older juice in it. It has, what is this, a 5, a 6, 9, 8-year-old blends in there. That is great value whiskey for the price and what's in that whiskey. I think the newer ones might not be as old. So if you see those older blends, that is definitely one to grab while they are still in the area. I've been looking for one of these in my area. I love these barrel proofs, so try to find a pick of them. It's something on my list to get. I am waiting though for one in my local area because I think they'll eventually come. So it's not one I feel like I have to have now, but it's definitely one I want to add to my collection eventually. So you got some Old Souls. This is another one that I've been wanting to try. I think it's MGP source whiskey, so I've never felt like I had to buy it, but I've heard good things about that brand. So it's definitely one that I would like to get eventually. Let's see what we got here. Is this a B524? That's a year old at this point. And then what is this New England Barrel Company small batch bourbon? It's just so in Kentucky. Okay, I was hoping it'd be local because I would like to get something that I can't get in Virginia, the DC, Maryland area. So if there's some cool local distillery, I'll give it a shot if it's good price and good age statement. Maybe also if I get a good recommendation from one of the store keeps, I'll be on the lookout for that. And then the one next to it, it also says New England Barrel Company. This is only 3.5 years old though, so it's a little skeptical. But again, it's also distilled in Kentucky, so that's also gonna be a pass on my part here. I've never seen this brand before. What is this? Charles Goodnight, Texas. It is $72. It looks pretty dark. Texas does do that to whiskey. It can overcharge. If you've seen a Garrison Brothers, you know how dark Texas whiskey can be. 115 proof, 6 years old. That is intriguing. I just am personally not a Texas whiskey fan. Everything I've had at Texas has been really tough to drink, except Still Austin. Still Austin does some good stuff, but it's because it's super young. Doesn't let that Texas heat overcook it too much. So I'm going to have to pass just because in the category, but that'd be an interesting one to try at a bottle share maybe. These bachelors have been sitting in every market that I've been to. $150. They really need to drop the price on these. No age statement, 700 ml bottle. It's just not an instant buy, and if they don't fix that pricing, it's going to sit longer and longer each year. So I always get skeptical when I see whiskey in decanters or crazy bottles because I'm like, what are they trying to hide? Is it, they're trying to put a gimmick here to sell it? But it does say maple bourbon whiskey and supports New Hampshire. I guess they're drawing on the maple syrup industry here that people love. But it's straight bourbon whiskey with natural flavor. When it says natural flavor, that's going to be off-putting for me. 80 proof too. Do they have an age statement on here? I don't see an age statement. But it may be there. It is distilled here in New Hampshire, so that is a plus. But without being able to see the age or how it looks, it's all hiding inside this decanter here. I think it's not worth the risk, but that's a cool gimmick. If any of you guys have tried it, let me know. I have that price at $35. It seems like they like their maple bourbon here because there are a plethora of them. Here is what looks like 2 to 3 new versions. We got McAllis. Got a honey one, and then also this Vermont ice one. So if that is your jam, it seems like there are plenty of them up here for you to choose from. Here's another one that appears to be a local distillery, distilled and bottled in Warren, Vermont. I'm trying to see if I see an age statement on it anywhere. Let's see. It is bourbon, rye, rum, and brandy. I don't think this is going to be my jam. It says aged at least 2 years. Okay, that's going to be a hard pass for me. 2 years is tough. Okay, a couple more local ones. This one is a wheated pot still, though. Pot still is a kind of a turnoff for me. Single source, 95 proof, distilled and bottled here in Boston, Massachusetts, and it's aged 4 years. Okay, we're starting to get better on the age statements. That is getting closer to what I would consider buying. I would love to see probably closer to like the 6 to 8 year before I would even really honestly buy them. When they're 4 years and younger, even if it's the best stuff coming off the still, it just doesn't quite get the characteristics of the barrel that you want from well-aged good bourbon. Now here's another non-distilling producer that I've been wanting to try. I have not had any 15 stars, but they've been getting some decent reviews on some of their older aged blends. It is expensive, $135. I think some of the other ones can be a lot more expensive than that. But it is one that I really want to try. It's been hard for me to pull the trigger with that price tag, but it's been on my list to give it a try, just considering the reviews that brand is getting. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and switch to the other side of the aisle here. I got all your Jim Beam stuff down there. Knob Creek, it's Knob Creek 12 here. If you do not own one, go out and buy one. Every time I do a blind, this destroys every other 12-year age-dated product that I've had. I'm going to need to try it against the latest Eagle Rare 12 and see how it stacks up. But this one, hands down, beats them every single time. Even though I don't expect it to, it always does. And these are not easily findable, but these are more and more showing up on the shelves. So if you see one, definitely get one. You will not be disappointed. There's another local distillery. It is Smuggler's Notch Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Vermont Mountain Spirits. Let's see on the back here. This is hand bottled by them, so that makes me think it's not distilled. And it's also pretty light. So that's going to be a little bit of a knock there with no age statement. But if there is a local Massachusetts, New Hampshire, or really anything in the New England that you think I should try, leave a comment below. I will look it up and see if I can get that anywhere close to me, because I am always looking to try new stuff that I just can't get where I live. Now here's a collaboration that I just don't genuinely quite understand. Whistlepig is doing a collaboration with Liquid Death, which is a water brand. So don't quite understand why a water brand is collaborating with a whiskey brand when I guess seems like to me the persona is to look like an alcoholic drink when it's not an alcoholic drink. But this is the latest marketing gimmick when it comes to water. If you have been on any distillery tour or listened to any spiel from any major distiller, they always talk about how their whiskey is the best because of the water they use. So this is just, I guess, the latest embarking in that they used Liquid Death water, and that's what's going to make this allegedly a great whiskey. So here's an interesting label that I do not recognize at all. It says New Hampshire Proud. And it has a bunch of different stuff all over it. The distilling company. What else is on here? Gold Garden Spirits, Flag Hill Distillery at the bottom, Copper Canyons Distillery. So I wonder if this is like a collaboration across those different distilleries and making a blend. Because on the back here it says blended straight whiskey and just bottled by them. So I don't know if this is distilled up here or some type of collaboration between all these, but I don't know, a pretty cool label. If it is a collaboration between all those brands, I think that's a cool thing. Trying to build the community up here in New Hampshire for bourbon. I think that's a cool concept, and I wish more distilleries did collaborations like that. Just because I think it'd be fun to try blending of like Turkey and Heaven Hill. You can kind of get this in like the Bardstown stuff, but I think it'd be fun if there were more just cross-brand collaborations. Now we're gonna go into the rye aisle a little bit here, trying to see if anything catches my eye. To be honest, I am not seeing a lot here. This Pikesville, this used to be super allocated. Now it's starting to show up around. This is a nice, I guess bourbon drinkers rye. A lot more thicker mouthfeel than you'll get on a lot of ryes out there. Here's a company, Hard Truth. Hard Truth is making some of the best ryes on the market, and it's only like what, $34. I guess this one maybe 70, but $34 for a rye that they're producing. It is phenomenal. It is some of the best craft rye whiskey, and it's really hard to do that because a lot of times craft rye just gets super grainy, super just it's not having a pleasant mouthfeel. So the fact that they are able to do that as a craft facility, put out something that is super sweet, I think is incredible. So I was walking around trying to find where their store picks were, if they had any nice bottles laying around, because that just seemed like a normal, just average selection. But I did end up finding it here. It's back in the corner of the store. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, you do not see these often at all at liquor stores, at least in my area. This is an OBSQ tier, was that tier 2? I guess the whole thing's HW37-02, coming in at $100. That is right on the price for what these things are. And whenever they drop in the DC area, they're gone that day. So that's really cool to see here. It looks like they have maybe, 5 or so left. That is a tempting one for me to grab, except I'm just not a Four Roses fanboy. Only like maybe 2 out of 10 Four Roses single barrels that I have, I actually enjoy. So I think if I was any other person, that would be one to get for how hard it is to replace. But for me and my taste profiles, I think it's going to have to be a pass probably. But I'm going to keep it in the back of my head as I'm hunting. Now going over on the right, got a Knob Creek pick. Always check to see the dates on these and see if you can find one that's like 11 plus years old. That one looks like it's like a 9-year. Got a couple of Elijah Craigs. You want to check the proof and age on them. These are the young. 9, 8 years are kind of the young side. You want, again, 11 years plus and low proof. So probably gonna pass on there. Larceny pick, another Knob Creek pick. Again, check the dates on it. Not quite that old. And another ECB pick. I think they just seem to be doing a ton of these Knob Creek picks. They all have different dates on them. So they just keep running through those barrels. I went ahead and checked them all, so I didn't have to bore you guys with checking each of the labels. And they're all on the young side. There's nothing worth noting of those Knob Creek picks. Now here is what is the expensive section. I don't think I'm going to be able to buy anything in here because it's probably going to be above my price range. Slash is stuff that, to be honest, I don't quite understand. It's like a lot of really expensive scotches. There is some bourbon stuff down here in the bottom. Like you got a Knob Creek 18 for 180. 111.25 is the dump date. Those I actually really enjoy. I think they get more hate than they deserve. I really like them. I like the bottle I have, but it's not a bottle I need multiple of. See over here, Woodford. We already kind of talked about that. They need to be lowering the prices on those. What else here? Boss Hog. We got a Heaven's Door. And a bunch of other stuff. In this cabinet, we got a little book, 120. Not worth that to me. I don't think the little books lately have been something that's worth the price tag. And then, wow, okay, this is an interesting one. This is in the box, 250. That's from like 3 years ago now, I think, or 2 years ago, because the box was only in the first year they released that. So that is kind of cool find if you are looking for the original Gatsby, because that's been quite a while. And then here's some more of those Southern Stars I talked about earlier. These are some cast finish ones. I think I'm more interested in like the age-stated products than the cask. And then the Angel's Envy cast strength that has just come out was at 250 for their cast strength. And then they have much more picks here on the right. This is an old Makers here. I'm surprised to see this style bottle because it's been a while since they did this kind of rounded edge. But I think it's because of the profiles they picked. I've never seen one like this. A 7 on the front and 3 on the back. Typically, you'll see much more dispersion across the staves. So to see that kind of, I don't know what you call it, going all in on one stave is something you don't see. And that's probably why it's still sitting here. I bet you it probably does not taste the best. We got a couple of ECPPs, or not ECPPs, these are Elijah Craig's, the lower proof version. And we got a 10-year one here. That one is tempting. For what, $40 to get a 10-year low proof single barrel pick? That one's tempting. That is probably number one on my list to buy today. I don't have one of the lower proof ones, and I've been looking to get one. So that one might be on the list to pick up today. They got the Keepers here that just came out this year, $75. I enjoy it. I think the Heart release last year was better, but still a very good pour if you can find it. Okay, here's what I was talking about earlier. This is the new Maker's Mark bottle. I was telling you guys earlier, you can see the old one, how it's kind of curved. This is a new one that they're putting out in kind of the Maker's Mark Cellar Age style. And you can already see this one's a little more dispersed. You got the 5311. So makes me think that one probably is going to sell a little better, but I don't know. I'm not big into Makers, and I don't really know what is the best stave profiles. More Knob Creek, more Makers with different stave profiles again. They just seem to be having a ton of these Makers and Knob Creek picks. I've never seen a store having that many of the same brand. And there's just a couple other picks here, like the Bullet, Dickel, a couple of ones that don't really quite catch my eye. I don't think it's really worth talking about, but they do have a decent pick selection here. That is quite a good number of picks for a state-run store. Like Virginia, when we have our state picks, you might be able to find like 2 in your store. So to see that many sitting on the shelf is really good for one of these state-run programs. One more allocated case here in the front at checkout, and it includes a couple like tequilas and whatnot, but there is one bourbon hiding in here, and it is the Weller Millennium, $7,500. Very overpriced. I don't know what Buffalo Trace was thinking doing that price. I have heard great reviews. I heard it is the best thing they've put out in a very long time. Just for that price, it's just gonna be something I am never gonna be able to taste personally and give an opinion on it because I cannot justify that price on it. All right, so I went and picked up the bottle. I didn't record checking out with it because
I feel sometimes it's kind of weird just recording the people checking you out. It's kind of awkward. So, but I went to the counter. It was very simple, very easy. Gave them my ID. They pulled it right up and brought it out, and I got myself the well listing of all the bottle we were coming for. Um, and one of the nice things I think about actually not filming was I actually had a decent conversation with the manager of the store, and I asked them if they knew if there were any JD 10s or 12s in the area, because I had a friend who came up yesterday to pick up his lottery win, and he was able to get a JD 10 at one of the local state-run stores. So I asked her if she could look up in the system, and there are no stores within a driving distance of this place. They're all in the northern part of New Hampshire. However, she brought up that they are getting their truck at 2:30. So I'm definitely going to swing back here and see if I can get lucky on their truck drop, see if they have it in their delivery. Now, this is going to mix up my plans a little bit because I was going to go down to Massachusetts and do some hunting today. So I'm going to have to rework that a little bit. I'm going to go check the map real quick and see if there's any stores in the area that I can hunt and get back to in time for that truck delivery, because I think that's going to be my best chance at being able to find something to help get enough bottles to make this trip worth it. But before I do that, I'm actually going to show you how I'm going to pack these bottles. That's a question a lot of people ask, is how to safely ship these kind of bottles in carry-ons when you put them in the checked luggage area, because the grounds crews don't quite necessarily treat them very fragile. So I'll show you what I do here. I have some towels to help line the outside of it because you have a lot of those metal bars on it. You don't want any of those to hit. I'm going to wrap the top of it in this, and that's going to help seal the cork here. If there is a lot of heat, it's going to prevent it from having to pop from all that pressure. So we're going to wrap this on it, and then lastly, we're going to pump it up with one of these to have a nice bubble coating on it. These are like $1 a piece, well worth the insurance. And this whole thing was super cheap. So, and you can use this like 1,000 times, I'm pretty sure. But I'm gonna go and do that real quick, maybe in a time lapse, and show you guys how it's done. The other nice benefit out of this that I forgot to mention earlier is that now all the stickers and glass has this layer around it, so you have less chance of that sticker getting scratched on it if that is something that's important to you. And that, my friends, is how you do it. It is nice, safe in this bubble wrap, about the best you can do. I'm going to throw in the suitcase here, and it should, fingers crossed, survive shipping. Just did a quick check. There are at least one liquor store that's about 30 minutes south of me in Massachusetts that was highly recommended. So we're gonna go give a run down there, maybe do a quick hunt, maybe find one more store if we can, and then get back here at 2:30 for the truck delivery. Okay, we are at the most recommended liquor store that I had to go to when I was coming up here to Massachusetts, and it is Burlington Wine and Spirits. Allegedly, they have some amazing store picks and just great customer service, but let's go ahead and check out for ourselves. Oh wow, they got a own little bourbon bar over here. They all look like they're mostly killed though. Let's see, we got some ESL single barrel, small batch, Weller 12 that's turned into a candle, Weller 107, Boss Hog. That's a really old Fitz up there. Blanton's. Got some Dusties. Creeks, Four Roses. What is this? Some rare character. That Booker's. Oh my gosh. Is that the Booker's Rye? Got a nice mixture set up over here. Got all the mixtures. Great price though. What is this? $39 for the bourbon rye and sour mash. You cannot beat those prices. So I think I found the bourbon section over here, but right here in the beginning of the bourbon section, they have their Buffalo Trace pick. This is an Eagle Rare empty barrel. That is really cool to have in the store. I would love to have my own at home. I think it'd just be a great bar decor. But let's go ahead and check out what do they have to offer. It looks like we got a bunch of ryes here. These Dark Hearts, they've been putting out some great stuff. One of the better NDPs on the market right now. It is a little expensive. We got like 100 and 140, but they are putting out some good stuff. Definitely one to check out and give it a shot. Definitely though, see if you can get your local store to give you a sample, because these are all picks. So definitely get a sample before you buy them and see if it lines up to your palate. Got the Rye Cigar Blend 120 batch 2. This had gotten some decent reviews last year, but it has Amburana, I think. Wait, this one doesn't have Amburana. This is batch 1. Yeah, this is batch 1. There's no 2 here. Okay, yeah, this is batch 1. I don't know why it says 2 there. That's the old batch. So if you're looking for the original rye cigar batch, come here. I have not seen that because that sold out really fast last year. This is probably the largest Sagamore collection I've seen outside of Maryland. That is a lot. The sherry finish, this is a Midwinter's Night Dram killer for 70 bucks. That is a good buy if you love finished stuff. That is probably the top tier with like the 9-year and a couple other Sagamore's like top end products. Another bottle that is kind of hard to find. Got the double oaked rye for 130. That's about what they go for, but these are really hard to find in my area. You can just see how dark these are. They really oak these. They're good pours. You definitely have to like oak though, because there is a ton of bitter oak on it. If you don't like oak, that's a hard pass, but if you love oak, that is definitely one to be checking out. And another local brand, I cannot believe this is all the way up in Boston, or we're not Boston, we're Massachusetts, but this is another Maryland distillery. They got on the radar last year because Middick put their double oaked in this top 10 a year. So if you are not a single malt fan, this is definitely one to consider. Give it a shot. But I think you still need to like single malt to like this stuff. Like me personally, I am not the biggest single malt fan, and I personally still am not the biggest fan of this stuff. But it's just me personally not being a single malt person. If you are a single malt person, that is definitely one to be checking out. Okay, I've now found the bourbon section. I said earlier if that was the rye section, now we're going into the bourbon section here. This Travelers here, I don't know why this even exists. This is an absurd amount of Travelers, $64. Buy something else. Don't waste your money on that. We got some pinhooks, copper, and Cass. Haven't had any of their stuff yet. Let's see what we got around here. It looks like we got a pick here, Massachusetts Barrel 1 and 2, 61 bucks, 128 proof-ish. All right, yeah, it's about a line for what these go for. These can be some magnificent pours for the value. Green River is putting out some of the best single barrel. Like, I think they are probably beating some of the Bardstown picks that are coming out now. A lot of the Bardstown picks, to be honest, are a little subpar. They're like all tier 1s that it seemed to be flooding, at least my market. And I think even though Green River is a cheaper product price point, I think their picks are starting to beat Bardstown, which is kind of sad considering how much different mash bills Bardstown has. They should be doing, I think personally, a much better job. Got some more dark arts here. We got a Mizunara, a straight bourbon whiskey, and a sherry wine. Cask. The guy Kaim at 16. I cannot believe this is still sitting on the shelf, 155. That is more expensive than what I paid for it, but if you do not have one, definitely get one before they disappear, because I do not know how much longer those will be on the shelf. I have not seen this bottle in the DMV market yet. The Remus, a 9-year, coming at 67 bucks. I know these are experimentals, so I'm hesitant to get it because anytime someone says an experimental, it's just, I'm a little wary. Now here is a special bottle that I do not own. It is the Cask Strength. These have been blowing up because SLB did a review on it and gave it really high reviews. Now I am personally still a little skeptical to get it. Even though it has good stats, it's 130 proof here. I'm not the big Jefferson Reserve fan. It is still, what is this? This is still $73. That is a lot of money. And so it really comes down to how much do you trust their palates and opinion. I wish it was a little cheaper because I would pull the trigger based on their review of it, but it's going to be maybe a game time decision before I leave. Oh, here's a cool little label. This is the old Forester label. So do you see how it's kind of more white now? The old label is more of a yellow, and it had these not tax stamps, more stamps on the front. So that's really cool to see an old batch of 1870 because you just do not see those anymore. Here's a lot more of the double oaks. Double oak bourbon, that's actually cheaper. This is a better value than the rye. Again, it's super dark. You're gonna have to love oak to want this bottle. But at 94 bucks, I think is definitely one to give a shot because they are doing some great double oaks there. They also got the toasted, the high rye. What is that? Is that finished in? Is it just a high rye bourbon? Yeah, it looks like it's just a high rye. And their traditional single barrel. Here's another hidden gem. Made a Kentucky Spirit coming out of Campton Nelson F from last year. These are some phenomenal single barrels. I have one at home. If I did not have one, I'd be buying. And they are leaving the domestic market. You will not be able to get those anymore in liquor stores. Soon, I don't know exactly when that's coming down, but Bruce said those are going to be international and gift shop only. So if you see these in your market and you love it, definitely get it, because I don't know if they're going to be there much longer. They got all the new Four Roses here. You got a tier 5, 4, and 5. Those are good tiers. If I didn't have my home again, those would definitely be ones considering, because those are pretty decent stats for those bottles. Then we got the Magnus. These seem to be sitting a lot lately. A lot of stores in my area are still having these. This is batch, what is that, 275? The ones I have, I love. I have not had this batch specifically, but these are definitely sitting a lot more in my area. Okay, here's another bottle that caught my eye. I have not seen this before, but Old Medley, 12 years old, 86 proof, out of Owensboro. It's like $57. What is this? Bottled by Charles Medley Distilling Company. But it's a 12-year-old in the Elmer bottle. Man, if you guys know anything about this, let me know. Because this, I'm fascinated with it being a 12-year-old. Does it say if it's where it was distilled? It just says bottled. Oh, distilled in Kentucky. So it's at least in Kentucky. Okay, that's the one I'm most intrigued about by so far. Just because it has an age statement and a decent price. I'm going to have to do a little quick research on that. I have the old Maker's 46 bottle here. Wow. That's also really cool to see. If you love old labels, this is definitely a store to check out, because they have some of the older labels of a lot of these different whiskeys that I am surprised to see, because I have not seen them in a long time. If you're a Booker's fan, they got all the Bookers here. Was this 23-4, 24-1, 24-2, 24-4, and 5-1, and then maybe it was up there, 23-2. So that's a lot of Bookers. They're all like, what is this, 70, 80, 90 bucks? I personally am not the fan, but if you are, they're here for you. So I finally found the store picks section over here, but over there is the more exciting part, carts and carts and carts of samples of everything in the store, including the store picks for you to try. That is such a cool concept, because that way you get to know if it's actually something that you will want and don't have any more FOMO when you open it, get home, and it's just not what you thought it was going to be. And I'm going to have the manager here explain this process, because I don't think I personally can do it justice.
My name's Camareth. My brother and I, we run the shop here at Burlington Wine and Spirits. All of these open bottles here, we do barrel selections frequently. We have multiple different selections coming in the near future as well. Right now we have about 75 different barrels that we have on the shelf behind us that you can taste. For example, we have one of our big River Roots barrel picks that we came out with.
I've been hearing good things about the River Roots. They've been out some
Roots.
Great stuff.
Absolutely. So we did a buff turkey with them, which sold out in about a week. Still have about 6 bottles left of our port finished rye, which is fantastic. We did a fun collab with Lux Liquor in Colorado. Lost Lantern, we're going to do another pick with them soon, but this is their Rich Grain Distilling store pick that we did with them. Hazmat profile, so 140 proof on this one. Mississippi Distillery, 8-year-old bourbon. Flew off the shelves. It sold out real quick. Unfortunately, we can't get more, but we do have a different pick that's coming out soon, which is going to be 155 proof if you're into hazmat stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Lost Lantern. But even outside of our own barrel selections that we do ourselves, we have all of these other samples here. Typically, your general shelf items that kind of come in and out, and having the opportunity to be able to try before you buy it is definitely something that we like to provide that opportunity, because as we know, some spirits are getting more expensive. Some are actually coming down a little bit, but when you're spending 70 to 100 bucks a bottle, it's always nice to be able to kind of try something before you buy something. If you haven't heard of Nebco yet before, James Saunders, one of the owners, well, kind of a one-man team, he brings in these fantastic barrels, really interesting, unique profiles, and bottles them here in Massachusetts, actually, in Reading, which is really cool. Just a smattering of other things. If you're into light whiskey, Rye 3 makes a fantastic bottling.
Now, do you have any like local Boston, Massachusetts, New England type of whiskeys? That's something I always look for when I'm traveling in the areas.
Yeah.
You talked about that New England, but it looked like it might have been sourced.
If you're looking for local, I would say give this brand a try for sure. Even though they're sourcing, they're still having their own, specific kind of local tie-in to what they're doing here in the state. So Copper and Cask is actually another somewhat local, New England for sure. So they're warehoused in Rhode Island. We've been doing barrel picks with them for about 5-6 years now. We make the drive down from Massachusetts to Rhode Island about an hour and a half. They'll source again, but then they'll age within their warehouse in Rhode Island as well, which is really cool. They'll do a lot of finishing themselves too, which gives them fun opportunity to experiment with different barrels. I mean, we have that open for sampling too if you ever want to try that. But another fun local New England style brand that you can kind of find.
I think I'm going to try, if I can, a couple of those local ones, just because I can't get them where I am. And it'd be interesting to see like how they stack up.
Batch number 11. So they've come out with 11 different batches now at this point. Each one will be a different style of bourbon or rye or Canadian whiskey. The batch number 10, which is a really popular one, that was their, I want to say a 20-year-old hazmat Canadian cigar blend as well, which they finished in port and Armagnac, if I recall correctly. But this is the next one they just kind of came out with, which is batch 11, 6-year-old wheated.
I definitely get a lot of those wheated notes on it. Very light, very like I'm not sure the word's creamy, but it's kind of that wheated sweetness.
A lot of wheated bourbons I kind of get is like this kind of round mouth, creamy profile. I get this like almost root beer brightness, where that kind of coincides with that wheat grain. And from there, of course, your typical caramel vanilla topping else coming through.
I always feel like a cop out because you do get caramel, vanilla, like everything. You should be, if it's a good bourbon,
Yeah.
you should be getting those notes.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can't say it every time, but you I don't know, you kind of have to, because that's exactly the main notes you're gonna be getting in like a lot of these stuff.
So Laws, for example, out of Colorado, we have a single barrel from them, which is a 12-year-old. It's actually one of their oldest single barrels that they allowed us to kind of bring in, which is a fantastic opportunity that Al Laws himself kind of sent to us.
I didn't know they had stuff that old.
Yeah.
So what, 12?
So this is literally barrel number 98. So fantastic stuff. 135, 136 proof as well. And this is a 4-grain mash bill. So this is a slightly different profile for sure if you're looking for something different.
Hey, while I'm sipping on this, I'm actually I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna go through their picks here so you guys know what is available when you come in. And there are absolutely decision paralysis. This is more picks than I've seen in most stores. So we got that Laws 12-year that he was just talking about. That is a really old. Their younger stuff, like their 6-year stuff, is pretty good. So to see a 12-year, that's phenomenal. Let's see what's here. We got this bottle caught my eye. These are flying off the shelf where I live. The toasted barrel picks for $5. That is another great buy. Almost every version I had of that has been fantastic. I thought they might be a little too toasted with that proof, but if you do see one of these, give it a shot, because I think they're personally worth the gamble. And then here's a couple of those brands we were talking about earlier, the Copper and Cass from Rhode Island. You got a couple options here. What, the straight bourbon, Madeira, straight rye, and then the New England here. But that's pretty dark for a rye. That is really dark for a rye. Wow, I'm definitely have to give that one a shot. And we got some other bottles here. We got a full proof. These are great values for $50. Cannot beat that. Those are phenomenal. JD Barrel Fries, also great picks. We got Old Forester, Maker's Mark, the River Roots he was talking about. I'm so sad I missed that buff turkey. Those have been really good. One pick that I missed that I'm sure you guys caught is this Eagle Rare store pick here. I cannot believe this is still sitting here for $51. That is a great price for a store pick. These have been phenomenal, worth every penny, worth that premium you pay on a normal Eagle Rare, because these oftentimes are a lot older, like 11 years plus. So whenever you see these, definitely get them, because they are phenomenal pours, and that one might be probably going home with me. You got the Burr Rye and the Midwinter's Night Dram. The Burr Rye in Virginia, that's an allocated bottle now. You have to get into the lottery to get it. So seeing here on the shelf is a really cool experience. Got a couple of the batch proofs, C924, some of the Larcenies, and then the A124 down there. So I'm gonna scour these and see if I can see any hidden gems in here. There are so many bottles. Oh, actually, that's the Jeffersons. Okay, that has been getting a lot of great reviews. I was talking about earlier that I would love to try it to see if it actually is worth that price. Man, that might be the one I'm trying. That is really cool. That is a wild bottle to have open.
I recommend that Jefferson's if you haven't tried it before. The cast strength, 130 proof.
Yeah?
It's a huge sweet candy note on that. Tastes just like, you know, sweet toffee pudding if you like that kind of style, and just kind of like coat your whole palate. So definitely try that before you leave.
Let's see if there's anything else up in here. Some Copper and Cask. Some Magnus stuff. Blue Note, Makers. I'm probably missing it. You guys put in the comments if you see something that I should have grabbed, because there's just so much here that I know I'm missing like 99% of it.
Let's see here. Oh, there's like a Michter's 10 hiding in there. What's that doing?
Yep, so we do open up these specialty allocated bottles every once in a while, so it's not right up front for everybody to see it in taste, but I mean, if you're asking, we do have Michter's 10 Rye to taste if you'd like that. Some other allocated stuff as well. We got the Michter's Toasted Bourbon as well. You know, it comes out once a year for this one and rotates between the different releases for Michter's. If you ever wanted to try the Booker's 2023 Reserves, which was a huge hit last holiday, we cracked one of those bottles open as well to taste. So, highly recommend any of those.
That is wild to see. I don't think I've been in any store that had allocated bottles open like that to try. That is beyond crazy. I wish the store was near where I lived, because this would be my loyal go-to store if I could. That is absolutely insane. And then how do you guys handle your allocated stuff? Is it you just put it on the shelf over here, or is it like loyalty points, or?
Correct. So we'll definitely keep some on reserve for our rare whiskey raffle that happens every July and January. So we have one coming up in late July in about 30 days. If we do get excess amounts of those allocated bottles, we'll put them out on the shelf. Sometimes we'll kind of bundle it with another additional bottle in terms of a store pick or just a general item within that specific distillery. And then from there, the allocated raffle that happens every July and January are kind of tied with our single barrel store program. So anytime you buy a store pick, you get a raffle ticket. And then from there, if your name's drawn within that raffle period, we'll call and reserve that bottle for you to kind of purchase and pick up at your typical SRP pricing, so not your secondary pricing or anything like that.
Okay, I think the two I'm split on is I definitely want to try the New England. Either the Rye or the Bourbon. The Rye looked super dark. So I definitely want to try one of those, because I would love to buy a local product.
Sure.
If I can. And then I might be trying that Jefferson's just because of the hype on it. I feel like I have to try it.
Yeah, we did a fun seminar event with Charlie from Jefferson's as well. He tasted through 8 different items specifically in the store, a 1-hour presentation. We kicked it off with this 130 proof cask strength bourbon, as well as their Mary McLean, which is their $300 bottle as well. So if you're local, check us out, as well as attend any of our seminar events as well.
Where do you find the events? Do you have a Facebook page or something?
Sign up on our website, burlingtonwineandspirits.com, on our newsletter. That's the best way to hear about them. Or, of course, your typical Facebook, Instagram kind of socials. We post new items daily. We post allocated bottles that might come in through the store as well.
Wow, I'm surprised on the mouthfeel of that Jefferson's. That is probably the best Jefferson's that I've had. I haven't had any of the older Jeffersons, like really, really old Jeffersons. But yeah, that is a great, great mouthfeel in this bottle. I thought for sure it'd be like a lot thinner, but I guess it is high proof. It's 130, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, that is pretty good.
Ready to try the Netco Rye?
Yeah, let's go for it. I am excited for this.
8.5-year-old Tennessee Rye, Speakeasy Distillery. As I mentioned before, they closed down last December already. But a fantastic rye here. If you're into those like herbal tea notes, like dark malt, dark fruit, little raisiny plum profile, with a super rich palate coating mouthfeel. It's like very, very high salinity on this one specifically. You're gonna love this. So a lot of the JD barrel proof ryes kind of have that profile. You'll find it in this specific bottling as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot of those herbal notes. Like this is very, very herbal forward. You aren't a fan of those rye notes, and maybe not for you, but for those people who love those herbal notes, they might get in like some of the younger Willets have those like kind of like herbal notes in them. Yeah, a lot of green tea, a very strong green tea. A lot of citrus in there too, but that is a very prototypical citrus herbal tea type rye. So the other thing I almost missed is they do bundles here with some of their allocated stuff that I caught on out the door when I was leaving. They have a couple things here. They got a Michter's 10 Rye bundle, Old Forester single barrel bundle. What else is here? The Rio, Eagle Rare. These are all decent prices. Like it's MSRP basically with another bottle. What do we got? Michter's Toasted Bourbon. That's what we got here. Michter's Barrel Strength Rye. These are all great prices. And then what do we got down here? Michter's Barrel Strength Rye. Yeah, those are great prices for what you're getting in the bundles. So if you can't spend a lot of money at a store, That's a great way to be able to get a bottle quickly because you only really have to buy one bottle and you're guaranteed the bottle that you actually want. Again, more stuff as I'm leaving the store here. They have so much bourbon here. We got another little setup here. We got an Elijah Craig 18. That's in there, 172. That's the cheapest price that I have ever seen on it. These Penelopes, these estates have absolutely disappeared in the DMV, but you can get them here for $100, which is MSRP on those. Got some 2XO. What else is hiding in here? You got your little books that have just come out. Uncle Nearest new release, the Green Door 250th. You got your Blood Oath sitting there for, that's also a great price, $129. Holy cow. Yeah, they have some fantastic prices here. And if you want to buy a barrel, you can buy one for $75. Can't quite tell which one this, oh, it's a Jack Daniels barrel. Yeah, so if you're looking for a Jack Daniels barrel, right here, $75. That is cheaper than any place I've seen. Back in home at the Bourbon distillery, they cost, I think, $150 or $125 a piece. So getting about half off there if you want a barrel. Okay, I wasn't able to finish at the other store because I was rushing to get back here in time for when the truck would get here. But I ended up getting the Eagle Rare store pick. That is a great store. Definitely go there if you can. They have an amazing selection, amazing prices, much different ways to get allocated bottles that fit kind of really every person's kind of demographic of like, do you want to buy a pack, loyalty points, and whatnot. So definitely a great store. It's a store I would go to. And the fact that you can get all those samples, you can try every single bottle before you buy it, is what every liquor store should be doing. And the fact they're doing it speaks word to their customer service. He was a pleasure to talk to, and I definitely want to go. But fingers crossed that there is something on the delivery truck here today. I'll find out probably in a couple minutes here when they come out exactly what's on the truck. Oh yeah, we are back in our humble abode here, the car. I just wanted to show you guys the Eagle Rare store pick that I did get from Burlington Wine Spirits. Great place. But I was lucky. The truck did have some Jack Daniels on it. And I was able to get Jack Daniels 14. This made the trip. I cannot believe I got this bottle. These were impossible, beyond impossible to get in the DMV area. And the fact I was just having to be lucky enough to be in New Hampshire at the store the day and the hour that it dropped is pretty spectacular. That's just the luck of the game. Sometimes you just get super lucky. Like I have no inside sources here in New Hampshire or Massachusetts. I'm just a guy, flew up here and got super lucky. So I have an update actually on the store here. As I was filming, a person walked by and they had all three. I didn't realize you could get one of each. So I went back in and I was able to get the Jack Daniels 10 and the Jack Daniels 12 also. Now this trip is 100% been worth it. I can't believe I was able to get all three of these on this one trip. I'm speechless. I really am. Like, this is beyond what I dreamed would happen when I came on this trip. I now just have a packing problem. I think I can get all 5 of them in there. The issue's only brought 4 of these bubble wraps. And I just gotta figure out which of the 4, of the 5, I think are worth the bubble wrap. So I definitely think the Weller Single Barrel, I think the 14. I think I might be taking the EOR out and putting both of these in bubble wraps. But let me know in the comments which you would be risking. Because I think if this one breaks, I'll be the least sad. So I think this is going to come out and both those are going to get bubble wraps. And that one's going to be to the gods to see if it survives. I did just learn that my flight got delayed from 6 to now 9 p.m. So I think I might try and hit one more store up or 2. I do have to get my rental car in by 6. So that is going to be a tie up there. But I think we might have time for one more. And let's go and see what we can find. Okay, we are at our last liquor store now. Even though my flight's delayed, I still have to get the rental car in at 6. So I had to pick a liquor store that's kind of close on the way to the airport. I really wanted to go to Julio's because that was the most recommended store of all the people I talked to. They said that was one I had to go to, except the issue is it's like on the west side of Boston. And by the time I drove there and then literally go straight to the airport, I would have been 15 minutes late for my rental car. So sadly couldn't make it that one. If there are other Boston liquor stores you think I should have hit instead, let me know in the comments. I might be back up here eventually again, so I would love to try and hit up those stores. But the store we are going to now is the liquor store with the most ratings on Google. I don't know if that means anything. It might just mean it's a big store, because this didn't pop up on many bourbon people's list, but it is, I don't even know if I can get it. It's such a big sign. I'm gonna have to go way out here for you guys to see this title, but it is Cappy's Liquor. I almost want to put an R in there. I feel really bad, calling it Cappy's Liquor. I don't think it's probably that. That's horrible. But my dyslexia itself kept mispronouncing it when I was trying to shoot this multiple times already. But it is Cappy's Liquor. So let's go ahead and see if they actually have a good bourbon selection. Where is the bourbon selection? If I was bourbon, where would I be? Why can I not find the bourbon? Am I blind? Yeah, this is definitely the beer side. Wines. Okay, got a good amount of wine here. Found a pick section here. We got the Keepers for $74, not a bad price on that. Got a 792 Full Proof. Those are great values for the $50. Some Starlight, Wheel Horse, the Whiskey Pig we talked about earlier. Remus, here's the Old Soul. That's a great price, $69. Wow, that is a really good price. If I had room in my suitcase, that would be one I would have to consider. We got finished in a pork barrel, a rare character there. 8-year pick, 9-year pick. The Burr Rye, I mentioned that was allocated in Virginia here. It's on the shelf for $120, 2 bottles. More copper and cast down there. You got a Dark Arts Rye Army. That's a pretty cool. And then we got a Green River single barrel. It looks like barrel 2. So I wonder if all the liquor stores split those, because I saw barrel 1 and barrel 2 at the other liquor store too. Got some Larceny, the old B524. And then, there's a pick, Barrel Society. If I can actually get it to focus. There we go. 1940 Barrel Society, 8-year. That's really cool. Some more picks. What is this? Rolling Forward Cask Strength. 10 years. Heated bourbon cask. Oh, it's rum. It's rum. Okay, how about that? Got a Old Forester MA Select. Not sure what this is, though. Let's see. Woodles Mill. It says Kentucky Straight Bourbon, produced and bottled by a company from Bardstown, Kentucky. I wonder if that is filled by Bardstown, like a contract distilled or something, or contract bottled. Interesting. No price tag on it though. RH David, I didn't see one. We got a Jefferson single barrel, and then I don't recognize these brands either down here. What is this? The Maddie Gadden Barrel Series Corn Rye Malt, 6.5 year, finishing in a brandy barrel. And then this one is 6 years Indiana straight bourbon whiskey. So MGP, $50 each. Doesn't seem too bad for that. It's MGP though, so like I don't need more MGP, but I have not seen those 2 labels before. And then here is quite the selection. Holy cow. That is what, 4 times 4, so that's 12 bottles of Penelope cigar batch for $100. Those are flying off the shelf in Maryland and Virginia. You cannot get them. So to sit here for 100, that many, that is probably the best selection I've seen so far at the store here. Top here, we got Sagamore Double Oak. So excited to see these outside of the DMV area. Glad that brand is getting more recognition. Some Caribous, and then whatever this Garrison Brothers is. Well, I guess 4th of July kind of small batch select. Actually, I've never seen that. I found the bourbon shelf. It's in the back of the store. They got a kind of a section here, and then it kind of goes down this wall here. So we're gonna go and jump through it. More of that New England company we talked about the last score. Sad to hear that they went under, but we got pretty going here. 3 years, $50 on that. They got a couple single barrels here that are $100. Are they picked or are they just single barrels? Let's see here. 6 years American White Oak, 7 years in American White Oak. Does it say what type? It says straight bourbon whiskey. And then this one, it looks like it's some type of finish. 3.5 years and then finished for 7.5 months. Shadow series. Oh, it's finished in a stout barrel. Yeah, I'm probably going to be out on that one. Now, here's a brand that I have not seen. Short Path Distillery. Single Farm Concord Straight Rye Whiskey from Everett, Massachusetts. Okay, this is local, distilled. I like to see. I like this bottle. I think this is a cool bottle. I wish more brands did more old school looking bottles. I'm not a fan of when they make it look really new age. I want my whiskey to look old. So I got this like, what is it, engraved or embossed in the bottle like they used to do back in the day. Let's see if we can get an age on this, if I can focus. Minimum 2 years. Okay, so again, we're talking about young whiskey. I would love to buy local. I need it to be older. Oh no. Oh no, look at this. $94 for, do I have room for this? 94 bucks. Dude, these are allocated. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 of them here. Oh no. I don't know if I have room in my suitcase. I'm gonna have to go check my suitcase and see if I think I can fit this in, because I would love to have this bottle. It is so hard to get. That's really cool that that's just sitting there. Got a bunch of starlights. See if there's anything else worth noting, bringing out. Got Henry McKenna. This is starts sitting around in stores. It's a little high priced at $67, but they're sitting around more often. Is there anything on the bottom shelf here just kind of hiding? I'm sure there is. Something I'm missing. Let's see. Going down. Oh, here's the Jeffersons earlier. It's all over the place here, up here in Massachusetts. Because that is nowhere in Virginia, DC, or Maryland. So that is really cool. It's all up and down in this area for you guys to get. I haven't seen this brand before. What is this? Porterhouse DSP 10. That's pretty young. Who is this? Minimum 2 years. That's probably why I don't recognize them again. But they have the DSP of 10 in Kentucky. That's an old DSP number. Distilled and bottled by them. That's really cool. They have that DSP number. I'm going to keep an eye out these. If these get older, I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for those. Got some more dark arts. We got a 7-year bourbon, 7-year finished in oak stays, and then an age-dated one that is in Mizunara. They do a great job with these bottles. I like the glass top. I don't know when they started doing the wood tops, but the glass ones, I really like those. I'm really just trying to take a step back and look at this, because there's a lot here. I'm sure there's something that I'm missing. Just like scanning through this real quick. If you see something on the shelves here that I did not bring up, I'll leave a comment, because it could easily, maybe it's something that I just missed, and others you should highlight for them. That way they know about it. Or it could be something that I just don't know about. And that's another reason I need to go and look that up and learn more about it. This cannot be real. This cannot be real. French toast whiskey, 20 bucks. I don't even have words for this. Pennsylvania whiskey with natural flavors and caramel coloring. That scares me. Found a couple other bottles hiding over here. Specifically, got some 1700 single barrels. These have started showing up in my area more. Historically, these were very hard to find, but these can be hit or miss. Sometimes amazing, sometimes potentially drain poor, but it could be a bottle worth the risk, because it's 40 bucks, but I just want to know there is some variability to those bottles. Got a little Four Roses display. Got the new Four Roses here. Let's see what tier are they. I'm sure they're probably very similar. 4, 5, and 5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are similar at the last store. That makes sense. Most stores are going to get the same barrel. Just kind of spread it across the state. And then here is a lot of their nicer, or maybe just more expensive whiskey. Let's going to kind of walk through this here real quick. Got a lot of the barrels products there on top. What's that one? Schooner's Uncut, Unfiltered. I've never heard of that before. It's a cool looking bottle, but is there a price tag up there? I can't see it. You got Elijah Craig 18, that's 18. That's what, 108 bucks? About right. Some of those, let's see here. Magnus Cigar Blend at $224. The last drop. Which one is that one? It's of Kentucky Straight Whiskey, number 28. Not too informed about the last drops. I know some of them are Buffalo Trace, some are Scotches. I know they all are very expensive though. Got some Remus here, Remus Cherry Gatsby, some Old Soul, some Old Louisville. That 14-year-old, I've been wanting to try it, but the price on it is always holding me back. That's actually the best price that I've seen it. It's a hazmat 16 to 17-year-old Old Louisville. It is, man, it's a bottle I definitely want to try. For 380 bucks, it's hard. That is the cheapest I've seen it though. And maybe if I had room, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't get it. That's too expensive. You got a bunch of Garrison Brothers. Don't recognize Lone Whisker, 12 years. I do not recognize that. This right here, this is the bottle to buy.
$520. I know it's expensive. It's the best whiskey that's come out this year. If you play in that price range, it's so good. I wish it was cheaper though, but it is so good. 2XOs, more Calumets, some Bookers. I think it's gonna finish out the bourbon section. It looks like we might got some rye and some Scotch. Yeah, so like we got some pretty Redbreast here. Some other international whiskeys that I am not too familiar with. Winners I Dram. I don't think it's worth the price, and I think that's it's still sitting on the shelf here. So I think the market's kind of over on those bottles per se. A Willet 7-year rye. I wonder how many bottles on that are the price tag on it. That could be an interesting bottle to get. If there's not that many bottles in that barrel and the price tag's right on it, that could be a bottle to get. Bunch of Japanese Ibitsi Yamazakis. Let's see. Boss Hog, Blood Oath, Dalmore. Yeah, and here's a bunch of the really nice scotches. These are well outside of my price range. Some other, got Compass Box, a Morangi, Charlotte, Roige. I'm sorry, Scotch people. I'm kind of blowing through these. If I had more information on them, I'd talk about them, but it's just not my area of expertise. That was Cappy's Liquors. I'm telling you, definitely stop there. I asked her on the Willet Rye. It was actually $190, $170, which I think is $190 for a 7-year Willet is a really good price. It says a store pick. That's only had one left, but some of the other stores might have more of them. They also said he had a purple top bourbon pick. It wasn't at this store though, sadly. They said they might have it at some other stores. I'm unfortunately out of time though. I have to get this back to the rental company. I actually might be even a little late as is, but I did grab the Old Forester Barrel Proof Rye. I now am concerned because I do think that this or the Eagle Rare pick are going to break. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll give you an update when we land. Okay, my last update on my packing Jenga here before I turn the bag over to the check-in area is I added the Old Forester Barrel Strength Rye here in the middle, and I've kind of tried to use all the paper bags from the day to help insulate it. I don't think that is going to be as good as these bubble wraps, but it's about the best I could do under circumstances. My biggest fear is now that this is going to hit the Eagle Rare bottle. You got some, towels there, but there's a lot more contact that could happen between those, causing one of the two to break. But we'll find out. Okay, so I've gone through security, but I don't know if you can tell on this big board here, that is a lot of red and orange across this whole area. There's some massive thunderstorms coming through. I hope I can get out tonight. I really do not want to be sleeping in the airport tonight. It's already been delayed 3 hours. So fingers crossed we actually get to take off at 9 p.m. and get home at 11 p.m. But let's see. So I got a slight update for you guys. Looks like we are getting out of here. We were delayed. It is now at 12:30 a.m. Takeoff time, getting there at like 2:30 a.m. Well past my bedtime. But I'm just happy to be getting on the plane, getting home, and can't wait to get into my bed. Okay, the package finally came out of the conveyor belt. A little wet from the rain, but let's go ahead and take it home and see, did they make it? Okay, I'm finally back home. It is well after 3 a.m. in the morning here. I am super tired and ready for bed, but I cannot go to bed until I check my suitcase. All right, let's look at here. The Weller looks like it came out good. We got Jack Daniels came out good. The other Jack's doing good. Yes, we're good in all the Jack fronts. Now let's get on to the last two bottles that did not have any type of protection. We have the Eagle Rare here and all the glory that is towels. That worked out much better than I expected. Like I said, a pinch, towels can work, but not sure I would risk it in the future. And then here in the other version of paper, which is less reliable than even towels, this showed up pretty good. So went 5 for 5 or 6. Well, how many up for here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 for 6. Solid win. So some final lessons from my trip to New Hampshire and kind of the Boston, Massachusetts area is definitely take a bigger boat. I wish I had a bigger suitcase because I left a ton of great bottles there. Ford is a single barrel. The well at 7-year store pick that Cappy's had. I wish I could have spent more time too. I wish I stood a couple more days. But don't take away from this video that getting this many type of unicorn bottles on a single hunt is typically realistic. This is probably top 2 hauls I've ever had on a hunt. This was a spectacular, super lucky hunt, and I'm super grateful to be able to get all the bottles that I was able to get on my hunt here in the Massachusetts, New Hampshire area. But I hope you found this video helpful. If you're ever in that area about which stores to go to, what type of bottles are in those areas, that's what I love about doing these hunts, is because there are so many bottles in all the stores that are impossible to find in the DMV area. So it's really cool just checking all of those out. And I cannot overstate how much I can recommend the Burlington Wine and Spirits store. I'm telling you, if I lived in the Boston area, that would be my home store. Having that many open bottles for you to try of not only store picks, but of regular shelf stuff and allocated bottles, I was really taken aback by that much of open product. And I don't know if I mentioned in the video, but in the back and all those boxes are actually sample jars from previous picks or previous releases that are available too. So it's just a plethora and a wealth of knowledge for anyone who's getting into bourbon. They were really nice guys, great customer service. He was willing to talk to me for a long time, even before he found out that I had a bourbon channel. All that happened before I pulled the camera out. But they were just lovely people to talk to, and absolutely a great store there with a ton of store picks. If you're enjoying this type of content, hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of my future hunt videos. And check out this video here where I did a hunt in Kentucky on Father's Day, picking up some wild, brand new LE unicorns. You're not going to want to miss it.